Bernie Sanders dropping a bombshell on Comrade Kamala right before the debate. The vice president is gearing up for her big showdown with former President Donald Trump tomorrow night, and she's turning to method acting to prepare. According to the New York Times, Harris has been holed up for 5 days in a Pittsburgh hotel doing highly choreographed debate practice sessions with an advisor who is dressed up like Donald Trump. Quote, "There's a stage and replica TV lighting and an advisor in full Lee Strasberg method acting mode, not just playing Donald J. Trump, but inhabiting him, wearing a boxy suit and a long tie." And while Harris will be super careful to pretend that she's a moderate at the debate, socialist Bernie Sanders just blew her cover.
Do you think that she is abandoning her progressive ideals?
No, I don't think she's abandoning her ideals. I think she's trying to be pragmatic and doing what she thinks is right in order to win the election.
Harris giving this preview of how she plans to attack Trump.
He tends to fight for himself, not for the American people. And I think that's going to come out during the course of the debate. But I expect that he's going to, I think he's going to lie. And, he has a playbook that he has used in the past, be it, his attacks on President Obama or Hillary Clinton. So we should expect that some of that might come out.
Okay, Jesse, before I get into the specifics, it's 3 years and 9 months in the White House, 50 days without a real presser other than the one she did with the coach, associate coach, and 5 days on lockdown. What is Kamala so worried about? She is the vice president.
Well, she's worried about people getting to know Kamala, and she's insecure about who she is. And the hiding hasn't worked. It's backfired. And now we're going to talk about the polls. She's now tied, which means she's about to lose. These aren't flip-flops, what Bernie said. These are just lies. Trump should just say she's not flip-flopping. She's a fraud. She's just saying whatever she needs to say to win. And she doesn't care if you lose. All she cares about is winning. She doesn't want to do the job. She just wants to get the job. That's what I would hammer. And then I would just make sure everybody knows that she was for reparations, defunding the police, bailing out BLMers, and abolishing ICE. And keep it on policy. Be steady. Be statesmanlike. Don't get baited, because that's what she's trying to do. Her entire strategy is dependent on him snapping. So as long as he doesn't snap, he'll just be fine. She's been very secretive. I would use that word, secretive. And she's very dependent on handlers. And you don't want anybody in charge who's that dependent. She's had good moments, though, Judge. We look back at some of her debates, even as far back as going against DAs in 2003. She had two guys she was running against. She comes out after they said the Willie Brown thing. She goes, "Oh, yeah, they caught you at a massage parlor, and you're a deadbeat dad." Whoa. So she's had good moments like that. She had him against Kavanaugh. She's had him against Jeff Sessions. And she had it against Biden. So apparently she's nervous, and the team is nervous because she keeps on trying to get in the weeds about policy. She's not going to win on policy. She stays on policy, she's going to lose. She's been over-preparing for these gotcha moments that she thinks is going to be able to make her win. If she has won, the media is going to say she won, but we'll see how Trump does. I think he's in a good position.
You know, Jessica, what is it? 28%, I think, is the number that don't know what her policies are, that really don't know what she stands for. And yet, when Bernie Sanders is asked if she's dropping her far-left policies, he says, quote, in order to win the election, he says, quote, she's trying to be pragmatic and do what she thinks is right in order to win the election. How Machiavellian is she?
I'm sorry. Does anyone who's running for elected office want to lose or feel okay about losing? I'm sure that Bernie Sanders, sometimes in his darkest moments when he's sitting there with Jane, says, if I had moderated a little bit, I was doing pretty well.
So she'll sell her leftist agenda to win?
No. So, oh, you mean like sell it out? She hasn't parroted any of these open border stuff, Medicare for all, defund the police, any of it since 2019. And I know that there's this debate about how much should she hew towards President Biden and what happened during the last 4 years or 3 years, 9 months. That is her record, for better or for worse. But that isn't a far left record. That's a record that Bernie Sanders became the most vocal advocate and defender of anyone. He was going to all of the Sunday shows when it looked like Biden was going to be pushed out. He was like, Joe Biden needs to stay in. This man is accomplishing things that are good for America, and that he had never even dreamed of having someone who was so good on climate action, for instance. So Bernie Sanders, it's not a gotcha moment in what he was saying. You said 28% don't know about where she stands. What I found to be one of the more interesting points of the New York Times Siena poll, and we're going to talk about it a lot more later in the show, is how much room she has to grow, with 53% of young people, 43% of Latinos, 41% of black voters who all say that they want to know more about her. Now, the issue has always been with Trump, has he hit his ceiling? It's clear from these numbers that Kamala, now she may lose the election, but she still does have room to grow. And so she's got to tell these people, this is who I am, and this is how I'm going to govern for the next 8 years.
You know, Greg, the Harris campaign is already downplaying her performance before it even happens. What is that about?
Well, I think that's a good strategy, because you can't lose if people, underestimate you. She'll always, she wasn't that bad. She wasn't that bad. Jesse made a good point. I wish she was flip-flopping, because then that assumes an actual change. But you should, it's a flip-flop-flip, which is actually a lie, because they always changed. Bernie pointed it out, and I think, Jessica's right. It is a realistic thing, except that when it comes to Dems, they do it every time, and they always revert back to what they were. If you look, you don't even have to take Bernie's word. Take Joe's word, where he just admitted the Inflation Reduction Act was a climate swindle. So think about all those people that heard that, people who were concerned about the prices of food and energy for their family, to find out that the White House wasn't addressing that at all. It was a complete fabrication, a Trojan horse to cover up for their climate swindle. How can you trust them after that? How can you forgive them? The other issue is, the Dems are losing men faster than J-Lo. How does Harris address that in the debate? Is that even possible? Jesse mentioned all of these issues that have to do with safety and security, defunding the police, pro-BLM riots. She praised Jussie Smollett. Remember, compared that to a lynching. She's done nothing about the crime wave. She's released illegals who reoffend. I don't think she's done much in terms of cop killers, in terms of pushing the death penalty. Men care about this stuff. Maybe it's biological, but shouldn't women care as well? How come women don't care? I think they do, but they've been told to care about one thing, and that is abortion. But thankfully, the Supreme Court and Trump have decoupled abortion, right? It's not a national issue anymore. It's off the table. So women don't have to be the single issue voter anymore. They don't have to ignore crime, immigration, inflation, energy, education, all of these huge issues, what we would call the rest of the world. You don't have to just vote based on what Planned Parenthood demands of you. He's already said he's against the national ban, so the right to choose is now a state issue, which is closer to the voter. I bring this up because this is going to come up tomorrow, and Trump just needs to say, this is not part of my decision making. It's now back to you. So a vote for or against Trump from a woman has no impact on the issue of abortion. Has no impact. The Dems don't want you to know that. They're very reductive. If you're a woman, it has to be about abortion. How insulting is that? How stereotypical is that you can't think about inflation, that you can't think about foreign policy? Ooh, that's not important. It's my right to choose. It's not on the table.
Well, why did Trump flip-flop on it?
Dana.
He never did.
He did last week on how he's going to vote on Florida.
I just told you.
He said he knows that a 6-week abortion ban is draconian. And then when I guess he heard from his big donors, he said, you know what, I'm just going to let it go.
That doesn't, you just heard my ad. This is a state thing. It's closer to the voters. You could bring that up, but that's like playing in the weeds. What I'm talking about right now is the issue is decoupled from the election.
Right. It's not an issue in terms of what has happened. It's left to the states. And women can vote in the states. But Dana, she is supposedly so worried about this debate And, you know, you and I both, everybody knows you, if you prep too much, you freeze. And she is practicing the handshake, how she walks on stage. I mean, I described it in the beginning of the segment. The lighting is the same. I don't know if it's Philip Raines, who's the one who's playing Trump. I mean, she also had apparently she was getting ready for a donor dinner, and she actually had to practice holding a glass of wine at a How inauthentic is this woman?
You have to wonder about the staff that puts that out there to the press. Like, that's the thing you're going to release to the press, or those kind of details. But I also wonder if they're just, we'll see. I mean, her strategy could work. It might work. I mean, it's tied, so we'll see. But they've been exceedingly conservative with getting her out there. And the Bernie Sanders thing is a great example of what happens if you cede the ground to everybody else. Because there's always going to be a Sunday show every Sunday. So what you do is you would look and say, okay, Bernie's going to be on Meet the Press. Who's calling Bernie? Who's calling Bernie to tell him, absolutely do not say that she is a radical progressive in sheep's clothing. Don't say that. But he does say it. And it reminded me of the 2004 campaign when a young man that worked on the campaign, Joe Pounder, found that one nugget of John Kerry at a town hall saying, I voted for it before I voted against it, to show that he was not principled. George W. Bush said, aha, got it. And then he went with that. So to me, I remember also Jonah Goldberg's book, Liberal Fascism. One of the things that stuck in my mind from that book years ago was how patient the progressives are. Like, they know where she is, actually. They know where Obama was, actually. They're fine with it. They can pretend all they want that he's not for this or that, or she's not for this or that. But because she has not ever had to say what she is for, everybody else is saying it for her. There was one other one. Bernie Sanders was the most important one. But Raphael Warnock was asked about the gun buyback. She has tried to distance herself from that, or decouple from herself from that. And Warnock was like, oh, actually, no, I think she's going to do that when she gets in.
Wow.
So.
Great points.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.